Hello and welcome to Anatomy of CAD Design. I am going over the interface on Matrix 3.4, Matrix Gold, and I'm going over everything so that if you are learning about Matrix, you just bought the program, or you want to just kind of refresh, we're just going through all of the menu items right now, and I finished up my series on Intro to CAD, the curves menu, and now we're going to go into surface. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to bring some curves in. So I am going to just randomly put some curves in. Let's see here. And that way we can, you got to have something to put your surfaces on. Okay, the first one, I'm going to turn those white so you can see them. You can see they're just all circles, different sizes. I'm going to move that up a little bit. And the first one is Loft. I'm going to click on Loft, and it wants me to select the curves and the points, and so I select my curves, and there you go. Now it does give you some options. I'm going to back up. Let's do that again by right clicking on our mouse. I'm going to select the curves and enter when done, closed, on. So let's see what happened there. Oh, wow, that did not come out as I expected. One more time. Closed off. Okay, very good. All right, so you can see lofting just takes you from one curve to another. I use it often if I don't want to bother putting a line here. I can just go and loft straight to that. Now you'll see there's a twist there, and it's because my curve seam, so if you type in curve seam, there you go. So it just must be, let's try this and see what happens. There you go. See how it straightened it out just a little bit? So most of the time that twist won't really bother you unless it's very extreme. And so if you want to change it, that's how you do it. You just press this, and you type in CRV seam. There you go, and then you click. And I mean, you can move it all the way up here. Let's see what happens if one's up there and one's down there. Yep, see how it twists? So now you know how to correct it. There you go. Very good. All right, so the next one is cap. I'll press on cap, and it wants me to select the surfaces. So I'm going to select this surface, and it puts a flat cap on it and makes it a solid. The next thing we have is profile sweep. I am going to bring in a line here, use my curve menu, and let's bring in a polyline. I am going to select F6 and do profile placer, and I'm just going to leave whatever comes in. I'll do it again, and I'm going to move this. There we go. Okay, so now going back to our surface menu, profile sweep. What profile sweep is between two profiles. So right now we are going to ignore that curve. Profile sweep. We're going to click on this one and the second one. And look at that. Start the blend. I can move this. You can either move it in the toggle here, or you can go over to your dynamic command. There we go. So you can see that it totally ignored this curve that I laid out. And that's because it was a sweep between the two profiles only. so I am going to move this one over. Yes, I know, I broke history. Thank you for reminding me. And let's go on to sweep 1. I will come back to sweep 2 because it's a very important sweep, one that I use all the time. So sweep 1 is when you have one curve and you want to sweep your profiles on there. So I am not sure how well it's going to handle all the little zigs and zags, so let's give it a try. Sweep 1, select your profiles. Oh, yep, it didn't like it. Let's delete that. And, whoop, I think I deleted my, my profile. Let's see, go in here. There we go. Okay, now we are going to go back to our curve menu that we went through the last time we were talking, and let's go ahead and fillet our curves. Select the curve to fillet, press enter when done. Let's make it a nice soft radius. Okay, so you can see the difference. Here's the original. I will turn that off, and there's the new curve. Now let's go back to our sweep menu, sweep 1, select our curve, select your profiles, and there we go. I almost always go over to my dynamic command and click the cap off. There's a lot of times when I don't need it quite yet and I'm not ready to have it. So there's the difference where it follows the curve, and this one just tried to make its way between your profiles. All right, I am going to end with sweep 2. So let's go into the planes, plane from center. Let's do F4 so I can go down as far and over as far as I want. And there we go. This can be handy. I haven't actually used this before because I don't know, I've just never needed a rectangle plane. That was a vertical one. So we've gone over plane from center, plane from 3 points, plane vertical, plane through points. I'm not sure how to do that one. Plane from corners. Let's go into here, plane from corner to corner. And the last one is a cutting plane. So it wants you to select the object that you want to cut. It could be this. Let's try this. Enter. And we're just going to do this. And it did not make it tall enough, did it? It did make it tall enough. Look at that. Very good. So you can go back to your quick commands, and we have that split. And this is how you would use your cutting plane. You would select a surface, go up to split, and then the cutting object, and enter. And now you have 2 totally different surfaces. That's how that works. And it can be very handy in certain circumstances. All right, loft. So this is interesting because this loft, we had a loft down here, but this loft is not a dynamic command. And how you can tell it's not, it doesn't have a little lightning bolt over the top of it. So I may be wrong, but I think that that means that it's a Rhino command. So kind of old school matrix. All right, so let's see what this does. Loft to a point, select curves to loft. Let's select this one, and let's select point. Loft point end, let's put it out here, and then you can drag your seam if you want, and then you press enter. You can rebuild it, You can split it at tangents. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm going to press OK. And this is what happens. So if you need like a Christmas tree or a cone shape, there you go. All right, I'm going to turn that on purple and turn it off. Let's see what else is on the loft here. Loft. Okay, so this one here, select curves to loft. I'm going to select this one, and this one. Press enter when done. And I think I'll just leave those right where they're at. There we go. Rebuild, close, so you can close it. Ooh, no, I'm not going to do that. Ooh, okay. There we go. So we do have this one that's a solid, but this is a surface. And these are on history. So, because I have my history on, you can move them and it will follow. Very nice. It simplifies the sweeping process. If you have something simple that you want to do, it's very practical. I'm going to put these in a job bag and then I'm going to delete them and I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's do another circle. And then let's do one that's a little smaller. And we're going to bring these up here. And let's say we wanted to do like a little bit. Let's bring another one. We're going to go to our quick commands and duplicate this. Bring it down a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing here. We're going to duplicate this and bring it down. Okay, so this is what we have. We have a little bit of a shape going on here, but if you want to create some surfaces without creating a profile, that's where Loft comes in handy. So let's go back to our Loft, the non-dynamic command, and let's click on this and press enter. Yep, there we go. I'm going to turn it to shaded mode. Do you see what's happened here? Let's do it again by pressing our enter on our mouse. This curve and this curve. Okay, oop, there we go. Got to go back up. There we go. Select curves to loft. We're going to select this one and this one. And there we go. And then if we did it again, select curves to loft, this one and this one. Very good. And then let's do it one more time. Okay, there you have it. So that could be like a severely angled halo where you want the diamonds to kind of point more to the side versus straight up. And now let me turn off my curves, which I think, there we go. Now you just have a bunch of random surfaces, right? If I select all of these surfaces, so now you have a solid. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our sweep 2. I am going to bring in a ring rail. I'll leave it at the 7. I'm going to bring in an outside ring rail. And I am going to go ahead and make the bottom one 6 and the outside 2 and the top I'm going to do 2.4. I'll bring that up a little bit. Okay, and so now I am going to bring in a profile. So if you hit F6, it is a power button, and a lot of the commands, a lot of the menu items are on there that people use all the time. Now, in Matrix Gold, one of the differences is the profile automatically comes up to the top of your ring rail, And your seam on your ring rail and your outside ring rail are also on the top. Now, I usually have a lot going on up here, so I want to drag that down by just holding it. And then if you hold shift, it will click right on 0.5. And then you want to come over to your dynamic command box, hit the outside curve corner, and then select your outside curve. And then it will attach to your outside curve. All right. Let's go ahead and leave that profile the way it is, because what I really want to do is show you sweep. So we are going to, you can do it one of two ways. You can go up to sweep 2, or you can select both of your curves and go up to sweep 2. And it wants you to select profiles, so we just have one, and press enter when done, and there you go. Voila. Press it on render so you can see how beautiful it is. There we go. Oops, I turned it off. Okay, let's go ahead and put that on that color so I can turn that off. And you can see you have your inside ring rail, you have your outside ring rail, and then you have your default color for your profiles, which is yellow. Alrighty, now I am going to just set this aside by moving it. There we go. And we'll just move that out of the way. I'm going to change the profile on this by hitting this little profile button right here. And let's go ahead and just select that. And we're going to make the width a little wider. We'll make a men's band this time. So same thing, you want to hit both of those, sweep 2, select profile, click enter when done, and there we go. That's what that looks like. Alrighty. Now there's other ways that you can do your profiles and such, but we will focus that on our tutorials, and when I show you individual projects, we will be looking at how to do all of that. So the next thing that I have on the menu is sweep 1, and this is a non-dynamic sweep. So let's move this little guy over here, and let's just go ahead and eliminate that. We'll put a new one. I'm going to eliminate that, and we're just going to have a ring rail there. I don't know if it will actually let me profile placer. Yes, it will. Good. All right, so we are going to just put a new profile on that. There we go. Now here you don't have any restrictions. Okay, so you can make that as tall as you want or as wide as you want. However, you also do not have the capability, unless you add more profiles with different heights, to actually make it taller on the top than it is on the bottom. It is going to be the same all the way through. So let's go ahead and hit sweep 1, select rail, select profiles. There we go. Press enter, and there it is. Now that's a very simple profile, but I do prefer to do the sweep 2, because if I start a project and I use, even if it's simple, and I use both the inside rail and the outside rail for sweep 2, there may be a change that I have to do along the way, and that gives me a lot more control. So that's why I do it that way. There are times when you are not able to do the dynamic command sweep for some reason. It just does not like it. Then you go over to your other sweep, which is your Rhino sweep, and this also has sweep 2 right here, and that's where you would use that, and sometimes it allows you to sweep, and we don't always know why. It just doesn't like it. So this is a very handy on the occasion that you need it, because when you need it really bad. All right, revolve, rail revolve, revolve. All righty, let's see here. I use rail revolve. Oh, let's see if I can show you how I use that. Okay. Now, I don't know if you noticed there, I was having trouble moving these, and it's because I must have right-clicked, which presses enter, which activates your previous command, and it didn't want to let me move it because I was in the middle of a command that I didn't know I was in. So in that case, you click in the viewport and you press escape, and then you're good to go. So Rail Revolve, let me show you what I used to do when I wanted to make a prong that was showing a little talon. All right, so I made a curve. Now this is very old school matrix. Let's go ahead and practice what we learned today. I'm going to duplicate this and bring it straight down, and we are going to Loft. Now another way to get to Loft is to simply type in Loft. You have an option of GV Loft or Loft. There we go, and that's good enough. Right there, it has a surface. Okay, so we are going to practice some other things as well. Make sure that your O snaps are on and that you have center on. And we are going to go to curve menu, pick the line, just a straight line will do, and we want to hover over this outside circle until you see the words CEN for center. Click on that, and you want to come up ever so slightly, maybe a millimeter or two, and you'll see, let me put these on white. Okay, you will see that that line is perfectly in the center, and that is a very quick and easy way for that to happen. Now I want to go to arc direction, I believe, and I want to make sure that my quad snaps are on. I'm going to turn off the center, and once it hits a quad, I am going to then go to the coordinating viewport. It might have been the right, might have been the front. Okay, and I'm going to click. You can see up in the perspective view, I am clicking on the top of that curve, and I am going to bring it out and hold shift. There we go. And now I am going to use my Rail Revolve. Oh, it's a very long and complicated way, I know, to get there, but it works. Rail Revolve, you click on that, select your profile, which is here, and then you select your rail curve, which is here, the circle, and then you want to show the start and then the end. And there you go. You don't even have to press enter. So I would join those, and then let's go into our surface menu again and see if profile in the cap would work. Ah, there it is. So we've used a couple of the things that we learned today. That is always good. All right, so I'm going to put those off, but that's how I used to make my talon prongs, and then I would bend them over. Okay, so I think we're going to end that for today. Thank you for watching, and you're welcome.